Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Rupanata, and here we mainly talk about mental illness and things related to that. So today we are going to talk about something that is not really that close to mental illness, but it is a very important part of it. When we do this, we are not normally paying that much attention, or we just take it for really, we take it for granted because we don't do it consciously, and that is listening. Listening, the power of listening is very, very important. Like, right now you're listening to me, I guess, or it's not just that you're hearing to me, that you're able to hear my voice through the video, but listening literally means is that you're paying attention to a person and you're trying to understand what the person is trying to say. So that is what listening really means. And for me, from a personal basis, I have there have been people who have said that, okay, I'm listening to you, but they were just actually hearing to me and not listening to me. That is what is needed, like listening to a person. In mental illness, it is very important that we listen to the person, what they have to say, and what they are meaning to say, and what they are feeling. We have to listen to it very carefully, and we may think that listening just comes to us naturally and we don't have to work on it, but actually we have to really work on it. We have to, in a conscious way, we have to listen, because it takes time for us to listen and understand, to concentrate, to focus on that person and listen to them properly, and actually consciously to try and listen to them, and to uh, get the essence of what they are trying to tell us. So listening is very, very important. So if okay, so for example, I used to talk to some people who, like, they used to say that, okay, I'm here to listen to you, tell me what you're feeling, or what are you, like, feeling, and what is happening in your life. And at that moment, when I used to start talking to them, and you get a sense when you're talking to someone, and if they're not listening to you properly, you get to understand that, okay, they are distracted, they're not listening to you. So that used to happen to me, that I would have been like, be in a phone call or be face to face. I would like just be talking to them, but their mind was somewhere else, and they were not consciously listening or trying to understand. They were hearing me. I won't say they weren't hearing me, they were hearing me, but they were not listening to me. So that made me question myself, that is something, if am I boring, or am I not interesting enough? I know this is, whatever I'm talking about is depressing, but I need to vent it out to someone. So that is when it got a bit hard, and I started shutting down and started isolating myself. So what happens with the people around, like, okay, first I'm going to break this part into two halves. So first I'm going to talk about what happens and what listening means from a perspective of a mental illness person, like a person who's suffering from mental illness. What does it mean? So for that, when you're a caregiver to a person who is suffering from mental illness, it I know that it I can understand that it gets very depressing to just sit there and hear what they are talking, because some of it can be really depressing and some of it is uh, really hard to listen also. But it is important that you listen. You don't need to give any advice, you don't need to tell them anything, you just need to sit there and just listen and actually pay attention to them, because I from my personal experience, I can say that they feel that there are people that are not giving attention to them, they're lacking attention from people, and they feel that the illness makes them feel that they are not worthy enough to have attention from some people. So it is very important that you give attention to them and hear them out, and what they you don't have to say anything, you don't have to give any piece of advice, you just need to hear them out and what they have to say. That just makes it so much easier for them to open up and talk about their problems, because that's the most important thing, to talk about the problems and to get it out of the system. And then I would like to come to the people who are suffering from mental illness and who are around other people. It is also important for you to listen to others about the advice they are giving. If it's a professional, it is really important for you who is suffering from a mental illness to accept the advice that they are giving to you, to listen to the advice, to actually practice it. Because for instance, my counselor or my psychoanalysis tells me to do at least try to do exercise for at least 15 minutes, and because that will help me. And I, to be really honest, I never used to exercise before. I was really lazy. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like getting out of my bed or doing anything. But then I realized that okay, if I have to get better, I have to listen to the people who are trying to help me, who are trying to who really want the best for me. So I have to do that. So then I started getting up in the morning or in the evening, anytime that was comfortable for me. I started exercising at least like for 10 to 15 minutes, and that has really helped me. That I have feeling a lot better because exercise helps with the flow of hormones and all of that. So that is what I'm trying to say, that listen to the people who are trying to give you some advice. It's not like you have to listen to every single advice, but the advice from particular people who actually want the best for you and who are trying to help you, who are professionals mainly. Listen to your professionals because that is going to help you a lot. So listening is something that is very important, and it's a power. It's actually a power that if you listen even in normal life, even for normal people who are not going through mental illness or who are not taking care of anyone who is going through mental illness, it's very important for them to just listen to the people who are around you. And I think in our generation, we talk so much and we hear a lot, but we don't try to sit down and be calm for a second and listen what is going on around us, and we don't try to absorb the things that are going on around us. So we just get so lost actually, and we don't know what to do, and we are like helpless and just stuck in the bottom. So it's very important to listen to the surroundings, and uh, to just be there in the moment and take whatever we can and absorb whatever we can. And it is not like I have seen some people who are there and they are listening to us, but then they're thinking in the mind that okay, what am I going to say next? What this person is saying that, so what should be my response to that? That is not listening. That is kind of hearing itself, and it's kind of like thinking about yourself at the moment. But it should not be that. You should be putting yourself in the shoes of the other person and think about what they are feeling and what they are thinking at that moment, so you can understand them more better. It's not important to what response that you give to them. It is important that okay, they will be accepting a response, and a lot can be counting on that response. But it is also important that you understand them properly. You get to understand like what they are trying to say, because there are some words that are unsaid. You have to get to understand. So when you're listening, you're not just listening to the words that are coming out from the mouth. You're understanding from your brain. You're understanding their body language. You're understanding their eye contact and everything. That is what it says. Like when you're listening to the whole person. Like literally, you're listening to the whole body and not just the words coming out from their mouth. So this was a small video, but I think many of you know what is the difference between hearing and listening. But this was a small video from a perspective of a person from mental suffering from mental illness, and uh, for others also. I wish that this helps the other people and other people in general also. And so I would say thank you for listening to me. I wish you were listening to me. And subscribe to my video and like it if you really like the video. And thank you.